Hi everyone, so my Zen topic is to present to you the unlocking words that we may encounter in the history. So before we read the story, so first we were going to unlock first the difficult words that we may encounter in the story. So the first word is puissant, meaning powerful or almighty. Almighty. So in the story, it might be describe a powerful almighty forces, possibly referring to magical objects that the character use, and the beings or event that play a significant role in the story. And so next we have open-handed, generous or liberal. Next we have beneficent, kind and charitable, doing good deeds. Next we have resorted, to go or frequently visit a place. Next, we have want, a person's customary behavior or habit. Next, we have generosity in giving gifts or money. Then, chamberlains, officials in charge or managing a royal household. Chamberlains, it, and next are viceroys, governors or viceroys, governors or officials who represent a king or rulers. So viceroys and chamberlains are the officials or the governors who represent a ruler, and chamberlains are official in charge of managing a royal household. So in the story, the character might be part of the royal court or have rules governing in the magical realm. So next we have artificers, a skilled craftsman or inventor. So it means in the story, uh, the artificer could be a character, could be the individuals who create or enchant magical object, perhaps like the Ebony Horse. Next we have agromancy, the practice of magic or sorcery. This word is not commonly used. Uh, it might be refers to the practice or magic or sorcery in the story, possibly relate the enchantment associated with the ebony horse. Next, we have syntheism, refers to the building or union of love and attraction. So this term is not commonly used in the modern English. It might suggest um, in the story, it could be relate to romantic or emotional elements. Next, we have applied. An archaic term meaning perhaps or maybe. So in the story, they use apply instead of maybe or perhaps. So next, we have jacinth, a type of precious gemstone, typically orange red to violet in color. So in this in the story, they might be mentioned in a treasure of valuable items with magical significance. And next we have mold, an uncommon term that refers to having most dark spot on the skin. Next we have couch. It refers to a piece of furniture, a bed or sofa where the lady is lying. So in the story, they use this kind of furniture. Next, we have Kimes, a low straight hanging dress. So, it is a Kimes might in the story describe how the lady's hair spread around her garment or covering. So, these terms set the scene from luxurious or significant setting in the story. Next, we have ivory, refers to materials made from the tusk of elephants, often used in luxury items like furniture. Next, we have doubter. Doubter, this term means more valiant, brave, or courageous. Next, we have devour, an archaic word that means duty or responsibility. Next, we have array. It refers to soldiers or troops arranged in specific formation for battles. Next, we have simples. So, medicinal herbs or plants used for their healing properties. So, in the story, they might, the author use symbols to describe the medicinal that they use. Next, we have, or medicine. Next, we have pavilion, a large and often luxurious tent, or in the context, a structure within the garden. Next, we have siri, a dry or withered. Next, bastinado, a form of punishment where a person is beaten the soles of their feet. Next, we have sansorxis, without stopping or continuous. Uh, these terms means that without stopping or continuous. In the story, the character might face continuous challenges or event without respite. Next, we have led by the heels, to imprison or confine someone. Next, we have hoards, treasures or valuable items stored or hidden away. Next, vesnome, an archaic term of appearance or face. Next is chaurus. Chosroes refers to the Sansan kings of ancient Persia. Next, we have viziers. These terms refer to high-ranking officials or ministers in a certain Arabic and Middle Eastern countries. So in the story, they might play roles in the real court or in the governance of magical realm. Next, we have enchanter, as a sorcerer, magician, or one who practices that art of casting spell or performing magic. Next, we have solace, comfort or consolation, providing relief from distress or grief. Next, we have bouquet, a large or bucket or bouquet, a large formal meals or fest, usually characterized by an abundance of food, often prepared for a special occasions. Next, we have rewriters, and a common or unique items. Uncommon or unique items, usually for considerable and value of distinctiveness. This is usually or considerable value or distinctiveness. Next, we have liges. Refers to subject or citizen who owe it allegiance or loyalty to monarch or rule. Next, we have sunderer, someone or something that separates, divides, or severs things or relationship. Next, we have caterer for cemeteries, an expression signifying death or someone responsible for preparing or managing funerary or burial rites. Next and last, we have gardener or of graves, indicates someone who collects or accumulates graves and illusions to death, or an undertaker. So that's all my report, and thank you for listening. Report.
Good day everyone, so I am Stephanie Rebelio and I am going to discuss the characters and setting of the story, The Ebony Horse. The Ebony Horse is a folktale featured in the Arabian Nights. It tells the story of a flying mechanical horse made of ebony that can be controlled using keys. The characters of this story explores the themes of science, adventure, and power. And the story of the Ebony Horse from the Arabian Nights, there are several key characters. So first we have King Sabot. He is the ruler who has great love for science. He received 3 great gifts from the wise men, including the Ebony Horse. The second one is Prince Kamar Al-Kamar. He is the handsome son of King Sabot. He becomes intrigued by the ebony horse and decided to ride it. He uses the horse to travel to different lands and falls in love with the Princess Shams al-Nahar. The third one is Prince Shams al-Nahar. She is the beautiful princess whom Prince Kamar falls in love with. She is initially set to marry a man she doesn't love but falls for Prince Kamar when he arrives on the Ebony Horse. The last one is the Persian inventor and the sorcerer. He is the cunning inventor who creates the Ebony Horse. He tricks Prince Kamar into riding the horse and then gets imprisoned by King Sabot. There are also 3 wise men who bring King Sabot the gifts of an ape that can kill anyone who tries to take over, a peacock that cries while sitting in a basin of silver, and the ebony horse itself. So next, let's proceed to the setting of the story. The setting of the story, the Ebony Horse from the Arabian Nights, is not explicitly mentioned in the available sources. However, based on the description of the story, the setting can be inferred to be fictional and fantastical world. Thus, the Ebony Horse takes place in a fictional world filled with wonder, magic, and extraordinary inventions. The story begins the kingdom ruled by King Sabot, who has a great love for science. It is within this kingdom that the 3 wise men present the gifts to the king, including the Ebony Horse. The Ebony Horse itself is a remarkable mechanical creation made of ebony wood. Ebony Horse is characterized by its fantastical elements, with the Ebony Horse serving as a magical means of transportation that enables prince adventures and romantic journey. Thus, the specific location or time period is not mentioned, but the focus of the story is an adventures and love story of Prince Kamar Akmar, who travels to different lands using the Ebony Horse. The setting may change as the prince explores new places and encounters new various characters and situations. That's all. Thank you.
So, good afternoon, everyone. I am Shatifi Razan, and I will be discussing the plot of the story titled The Ebony Horse. So, the exposition. So, in Persian country, a mighty king with his 3 daughters and a son lived happily. In an annual festival, he received 3 magical gifts from 3 sages. With one of them was a peacock of gold, and with the second a trumpet of brass, and with the third a horse of ivory and ebony. The king tried first 2 gifts and rewarded sages by marrying 2 of his daughters with them. He was curious about the third one, and he was going to try that. The prince interrupted him and asked king to allow him to mount on the horse. When the prince sat on the horse and the sage turned on the keys, the horse started flying in the sky. So it all started on in a Persian country where there is a mighty king, or the richest of all kings, named King Sabor. He has 3 daughters and a son. So in every 12 months, he held a festival, and also he loved science and geometry. So during the festival, 3 wise men came and brought a magical gift. So these 3 wise men are the cunning artificers, or skilled in making things curious and rare. They also came from different countries. So, when the princess heard about this, she was crying in her room, and then there came his brother, which is the prince that was being newly returned from his journey. And so when he confronted about this, he was angry at his father. So he came to his father and asked about this. So about the gifts from the sages. So when he saw the horse, he was also amazed that he sat on the horse. So upon the as the Persian bore the prince a grudge to will that not to have his sister. So as the prince mounted on the horse, he pressed the button without the knowledge of the prince. So for the rising action, he rose towards the sky. The prince, amid his trip, watched all the highlights of the horse and he took in the best approach to work all its capacities. During his excursion, he plummeted on a certain top of some castle where he sat for quite a while and afterward went down looking for sustenance as he was angry. With he went down, he saw that a gathering of female slaves was going on, and among them was a wonderful maid whose stature was much as the same as letter Aleph. The prince went inside and said them that he was sent by the lord of this nation to wed his girl. This all comes in rising action from the story when the prince was caught in the adoration for the maiden and needed to wed her at any expense. So while soaring at the sky, he learned how to know how to work the ebony horse. So as he was soaring up above the sky, he saw a castle, and up above the castle there he took a rest, and then after and in the midnight where there was no people around, he was he goes or he enters to the castle without the notice of everyone and even the guards because he was hungry. But then as he was entering, he saw slaves and also a maiden whom which was a princess that was the daughter of the king there. He was amazed by her beauty, just like he was being loved at first sight. So that's it. So for the climax, so when the third sage, who was the genuine owner of the horse, went to that private chamber to gather a few herbs, there he saw his horse as well as noticed the smell of mass. So he went inside the chamber and told the damsel that he was the delegate of the prince and he came there to take her to the royal residence. Indeed, he was not the courier sent by the sovereign. The sage was simply attempting to take revenge from the king because he refused to marry his daughter with him. Damsel accepted whatever he said and sat with him on the magic horse. After sooner or later, he told everything to her that he is taking recruital from the king of Persia. So after the king saw the maiden, all the slaves are awake, including the
After the climax, it will be falling action. So in the falling action, it is when a period of time that follows the climax. So it is here when it clarifies, build up tension in the climax. And the prince, while sitting in a gathering of vendors, got to know about the sage and the damsel. The following day, he went to the nation of Greeks as a specialist in the light of the fact that the damsel was sick and truly stressed over all what she gone through. In outcome, the prince asked about the horse, utilizing a trap, and took the damsel with her to his own land. Lastly will be the denouement. It is the point in the story wherein the conflict is resolved. In the story, the denouement is when the king destroyed the horse so that no one can be able to use it again against evil things.
So good morning everyone, especially to you, ma'am. And now, before we start our discussion this morning, so let me introduce my name. First, I am Renajin Ahito, and now I am going to present you to the elements of the story, which is the Ebony Horse, and I am going to discuss to you the element of the story, which is the theme and the point of view. The central theme of the Ebony Horse can be seen as the exploration of human desire, ambition, and the potential for both invention and destruction that comes with it. So the Ebony Horse, a mechanical invention capable flying, symbolizes the heights of human ingenuity. So it's a testament of the human capability and the wonders that can be achieved through intelligence and creativity. However, the story also warns against unchecked ambition and desire, the characteristics who come into possession of the horse, including the king's son, so are ultimately lead to peril due to their inability to control desire. And the power of the invention. So their ambition them to the potential dangers leading to downfall. So this highlights the destructive potential of the power desire when not tempered with some caution. So in terms of the point of view of the story, which is the Ebony Horse, the story is told from the third person, omniscient perspective. So this means the narrator will all-knowing, providing insight into the thoughts, feelings, and motivations for all characteristics. So this perspective allows the reader to fully understand the characteristics, desire, and the consequences